Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Hello, good friends. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting and growing the Sangha with your Bodhisattva efforts, right? Everything from liking and subscribing to help the YouTube algorithms spread propagation, to buying ebooks on threefoldlotus.com, print books, so on and so forth. Thank you so much for your support. Patrons, most of all of you, really, equally, but those of you who are able to financially help keep me afloat here doing this, incredible. Thank you so much. All right, today, on parle de le GoHonzon. The GoHonzon. So this entry in the Buddhism reference, I'm calling it a verb. Intentionally calling it a verb because there's so much misinformation out there in the world that wants to call this scroll behind me, Nitrin's mandala, a GoHonzon. It is not a GoHonzon. The GoHonzon, quoting Nitrin, in fact, I probably have it in here. Let me quote him. Quote, never, this is from The Real Aspect of the GoHonzon, one of his major writings. Never, ever seek this GoHonzon outside yourself. Why would Nitrin say that if he was talking about this mandala? The GoHonzon exists only within the mortal flesh of us ordinary people who embrace the Lotus Sutra and chant Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. The body is the palace of the ninth consciousness. The ninth consciousness is Buddhahood. The GoHonzon is our samsaric gateway to Buddhahood. It's the mind. Buddhism is about the mind. The GoHonzon mind is the ninth consciousness, right? Because the ninth consciousness comes from where? Does it come from a star? Does it come from heavenly deities? No, it's an emergent property of our physical manifestation, moment to moment. It's not the brain, it's the mind. This is where the consciousnesses are. Everything else is mechanics. Electrical signals, biological, chemical. That's all physical. The unchanging reality that reigns over all of life's functions, the mind. This is a quote from Nitrin. So please, please disabuse yourself, firstly, and those around you, that scroll, that important, very exclusive mandala, is our samsaric tool to penetrate that mind, open that gate, in the parlance of Nagarjuna and Shakyamuni, the gateway to transmigrate from this physically obsessed universe of experience to the Buddha mind of experience. The GoHonzon transmigrating gate. That's GoHonzon. That's what we open, that's what we invoke when we chant using this mandala. This mandala, because it encompasses this very teaching. And when we focus on Myo-ho, those two characters, right? In the middle, Namu, and then Myo and Ho, what do? I put it in a document on threefoldlotus.com called Shoju. Right? Myo, potential, Ho, instantiate. Transmigration. When we get that, Renge, aha. Kyo, the experience of the Dharma. The experience of enlightenment, the experience of the engine of life. All right, somehow I managed to jump to the end. Go figure. Listen, this is an important one. So I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to read through what I put in the book. Firstly, to proofread it yet again, but to share it with you. It is available as an ebook right now on threefoldlotus.com, right? On the ebook page. Got stuff in my, excuse me. So let's go through this. I have 4 quick little definitions to kind of pique our interest, appetizers. Number 1 is the experience of the engine of life. Now, given what I have already said, that probably makes sense, but let's move on. Number 2, the realized mind state, the action of the eye of Buddhaness. We open that eye. What is that opening of that eye? That's GoHonzon. Right? It says the realized mind state. Who does the realizing? What is realizing? It's our samsaric mind opening that eye, GoHonzon. Oh, Buddhaness. Right? Number 3, the ultimate objective of Buddhist practice, to invoke the innate Buddha eye. This ability of the mind, this innate feature of our lifetime, our experience as human beings, sentience. Sentience has this natural component of the Buddha eye, the GoHonzon eye, the realization eye. That's our objective. That's why I'd say GoHonzon. Because go means the ultimate destination. It's an objective, not an object. The mandala is an object. Well, to be strictly true, the scroll is an object. Mandala is more about a process of using the scroll to get us somewhere. Where are we going? To the ultimate goal. GoHonzon. GoHonzon mind, gate, portal, whatever you want to call it. I. 4, the witness or I of Buddhaness. How many ways can we say the same thing? Isn't this what Buddhism is? Essentially repeating the same insights over and over again from every possible angle. Why? Immeasurable, innumerable meanings. It's the title of a sutra. Everyone comes to this awakening through their own path. That is the nature of enlightenment. It is singular, it is yours. No one can hand it to you. You can't find it in a book. You have to do the work because it's your mind that you're opening. Nobody else shares your mind. Yet, when you open it, you attain this place, this idea, this mental space, this experience, Itai Doshin, that is one mind. When you see the truth, that everybody sees the same truth, then you know it's the truth, right? But your path, your way of getting the aha, the renge, to boom, I get it, that's your own. That's the effort of Buddhism. That's why this is the teaching that is difficult to understand, because it's your teaching. All right, let's get into the meat here. The sentient mind of ordinary mortal beings, immersed fully in the flow of momentum. Now, a lot of these terms, when you first read this, if this is the first term you read in the book, you're like, what's he talking about? And I encourage you when that happens, and what you'll notice eventually, what do you mean by momentum? Look it up in the book. There's a definition. The more definitions, the more entries in this book you read, the more you'll see the same language repeated in different ways because it's all the same thing. I want you to see the continuity, just as Nitrin saw it, in the teachings of Shakyamuni, repeated by Nagarjuna, by Vasubandhu, by Tendai, his great inspiration, by Dengyo, Miao Lo, all pointing at the same thing. Nitrin going, oh my, it's so obvious, right? This is neat. To us, should be the same way. To us, we should be able to read language that's familiar to us, which is what I'm trying to provide, so that the aha, the singularity in your mind is more easily reached. Because the moment you start feeling like, I get this, your relationship with your mandala and GoHonzon mind, much deeper, much more profound, much more conviction. You're confident. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. This is happening. It's happening now. Right? All right. The opening of the Buddha eye to witness this momentum from the formations of life, see karma, unencumbered and experienced, and I'm not going to go into a side rant on karma. That's another one that's very misunderstood, so you might want to read that definition. Unencumbered and experience all potential in each moment-to-moment manifestation of existence. There's that moment thing again. This active, open state of mind, in parentheses, GoHonzon, aware of one's own manifestations of energy expressed moment to moment in concert with all phenomena, because we're not separate, in one's environment, parentheses again, Buddhaness, unseparated, undifferentiated, at the core of our existence, we can realize, there's that word again, our own making as a flow of karmic expression. See Engine of Life. It's I'm no poet, but the concepts here flowing into one another, supporting one another, it's the most poetic thing I know. In this following quote from a translation of Bodhisattva Nichiren's essay on the GoHonzon, it is described as follows, quote, the objective of devotion for observing the mind established in the fifth 500-year period after the thus come one's passing. Nitrin, the Shramana of Japan. And keep in mind, this is a translation. I didn't want to mess with it a whole lot, but I may correct it as I go here, because translations being what they are, right? Volume 5 of Great Concentration and Insight states. So right away he's quoting who? Chi-E? Chi-Che? Tendai? Right? Quote, life at each moment is endowed with the 10 worlds. You know about the 10 worlds or 10 realms. At the same time, each of the 10 worlds is endowed within all 10 worlds, so that an entity of life actually possesses 100 worlds. What's he pointing to here? I mean, this is a foundational insight of Nitrin, our exemplar, the man we're emulating, the 3,000 realms in a single thought moment. What's the purpose of that? It just sounds magical. No. It's an example numerically that we as samsaric beings are so blissfully unaware of the engine that allows for us to exist, how the universe works, how every phenomena in the universe works, how it ends up culminates in our existence and the emergence of the mind. It's so profound. But we start small. We start with 10 worlds. Why? Because 10 worlds shows quite a spectrum, right? From hell to Buddhahood. And you know, just from your samsaric experience, oh yeah, I've been in hell. I've been insatiable. I've been calm. I've been in learning. I've been excited about learning, right? All these worlds, pretty easy to relate to. But then you start multiplying them out, and that's when we start becoming aware that we're not aware. It's an interesting lesson and a very important one to understand the depth of what we're doing when we enlighten our minds. Our minds know more than we experience in samsara. But we can experience the totality, however it shows itself, expresses itself to us through this practice. The only person who can show that to you, prove that to you, is you and your practice, right? So let's go on with Nitrin here. So that an entity of life actually possesses 100 worlds so far. Each of these worlds in turn possesses 30 realms, right? The 10 factors, the 3 realms of life. Which means that 100 worlds, there are 3,000 realms. Well, he got to it pretty quick. The 3,000 realms of existence are all possessed by life in a single moment. Look up moment, you'll see how you can't fathom how tiny that is. If there is no life, that's the end of the matter. If there is no life, that's the end of the matter. If there is no life, when you die, that's the end of the matter. No 3,000 realms, no 10 worlds, no 100 worlds, no factors. Why? Because Buddhism is about the mind. When you die, your mind dies. When the mind dies, there's no enlightenment. There's no consciousnesses. That's it. No other place, no afterlife. What's afterlife? Is that like an after party? What? It's ridiculous to think that way. That's why Shakyamuni didn't spend any time on it. He just taught, obviously, his teachings made it obvious that to go there is nonsense. And here he is, Nitrin, talking about and quoting Tendai, 6th century China, saying exactly this. It's the end of the matter. But if there is the slightest bit of life, it contains all of the 3,000 realms, all potential. This is what we mean when we speak of the region of the unfathomable. No duh. Note, this is still Nitrin. 3,000 realms might also read 3,000 factors, but the number is the same. The only difference lies in the method of expansion. Another copy of the Great Concentration and Insight states, quote, each world is endowed with the 3 realms of existence, right? However you get there, the words aren't the point. The thought process, the mental experience or exercise of peering into the nature of life at each moment. That's the point. So then, in true formal dialogues, there's always this question and answer, right? So question, is the principle of the 3,000 realms in a single thought moment of life explained in the profound meaning of the Lotus Sutra? Another of Tendai's writings. Answer, Miao states that it is not. Question, then is it explained in the words and phrases of the Lotus Sutra? Answer, Miao says that it is not. Mialo comes after Tendai, right? A great scholar. Answer. Question. What are his exact words? I'm sure he means Tendai. Answer. He says, quote, no, this is Miao. None of them reveal that a single moment of life contains the 3,000 realms, end quote. Question. Is this principle mentioned in any of the first 4 volumes of the Great Concentration and Insight? Well, Nitrin started by saying it's in the 5th. But anyway. Answer. No, it is not. Question. Then what proof is there of this? Well, didn't I have already told you it's in the 5th volume? Pay attention, right? Anyway, this is the method. Nitrin is pointing out that most people will resist this information because they'll say, well, it only says it there, it doesn't say it anywhere else, so, what? It's like spaghetti's made with noodles. Well, is a hamburger recipe anything showing spaghetti? No. What about a chef's salad? No spaghetti. Well, then, why should I rely on the spaghetti recipe? Because that's what it's about. The stubbornness of people, yes? Answer. Miao Lo says, quote, when at last he revealed the method of meditation in the Great Concentration and Insight, he at the same time employed the 3,000 realms as a way to understand. Oh, okay. Sorry. We find this a lot in Nitrin's question and answer things, is he asks questions that he knows people, because they resist, will ask, and he goes ahead and knocks down the dominoes, and well, here, until they get to the same answer he already provided. It's a formal teaching method, yes? All right, so then I put my 2 cents in, drew a line. This is one of the many such descriptions of the experience of the treasure tower from the Lotus Sutra. This story illustrates the tower as an apparition or a mental conjuring offered by, there again is the proof, these are my words, but isn't the GoHonzon based on the treasure tower chapter of the Lotus Sutra? We've read this many times in Nitrin. And the treasure tower, if you'll remember that chapter, talks about the apparition in the air of this great tower, the treasure tower, where Tahoe and Shakyamuni are seated side by side. Oh, by the way, look at the scroll. That's the picture. What's in the middle between Tahoe and Buddha? Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Could that be the treasure tower? Gee, I think so. Nitrin modeled his scroll after this chapter. And what do I say? This apparition, what does that mean, apparition? It's a mental conjuring. Guess where the GoHonzon is? Guess where the treasure tower is? In your mind. Offered by Nitrin to have us understand the nature of the GoHonzon mind and its ability to afford us a complete shift in our experience of the realms of potential, constantly remanifesting in each moment of thought. Thought, being of the sentient mind, is the sight of GoHonzon and the experience of Buddha or Buddhaness. And yet, in the face of all this scholarship offered throughout hundreds of years of Bodhisattva discussion, still we find today an incredible number of deluded people claiming the GoHonzon to be a piece of paper, a scroll, or a statue. How egregious! How could any person study the words of Nitrin, as we have just done, let alone the words of Shakyamuni, and come to the conclusion that a piece of paper is all that was needed for enlightenment? Please. Also, and most conclusively, Nitrin repeatedly wrote this following exhortation to his students and inner circle as the Gosho, the real aspect of the GoHonzon. Quote, And I already read that to you. And it's true. He not only says it here, he says it in many ways, almost identically, in a few other Gosho. It's not the only place he says it. So, just as waking from a deep sleep and dream state requires only the waking opening of our eyes, so too does Nitrin spend a great number of words in his treatise on the opening of the eyes, describing this very process of awakening and identification of this process as itself the GoHonzon, or the objective of our practice. And at this point, I drop the mic. Oh my gosh, look at all the frames that have been busted. It's so disheartening. I hope this video hasn't become hard to watch because of that. I almost want to re-record it. But as you know, I don't follow a script. This is all ad hoc. And yeah, this subject of GoHonzon is a very core subject that touches on all aspects of Buddhist teachings. And the fact that it's so misunderstood today, I get a little passionate about. So I start moving my hands and arms around, and the computer can't keep up. So I apologize for that. I'm going to leave it as it is. Myoho, Namo Myo Rengekyo. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. Right, take a moment to like and subscribe. It's a Bodhisattva act, helps a Sangha grow. In the meantime, have confidence, resolve in your practice, yeah? Take your time. Don't be in a rush. Savor your practice. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Take care of your health. Be kind to yourself. Right? That's where it starts. That's how you learn to be kind to others. Give yourself a break. If you're anything like me, you spend a lot of time trying to point out your own mistakes. It's just lost energy. It's good to know, what you need to avoid. You will. The more we chant, the more we hone our true experience, our full experience of life. And not all our karma is brilliant. Some of it is kind of yucky, but it doesn't have to sink us. It doesn't have to drag us into the gunk, right? It's just life, a brilliant, amazing life. Namo Myo Renge Kyo. Thank you again. I will let you go. I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.